socialists, Marxists fight me. You know, that's the other party. And so I just want you to know what they're doing to you. All right, do we have a phone call?
Yes.
Let's take the phone call before we get into this tonight. Caller, are you with us?
Yeah, Bob.
Yes, question or comment?
Hey, isn't it true now these big law firms that a lot of times they bundle funds together and make, you know, big contributions, but aren't they also instrumental in putting forward names for judicial appointments?
Well, explain what you're talking about there, caller.
Well, don't these big law firms have a lot of political clout where they get to pick who becomes judges?
Well, of course, these big law firms, see, folks, you know, when you go before a judge, and these big law firms have made these contributions to the judges, and you have some little schmo of an attorney that hasn't made these big political donations or donations to their favorite charity or to their when the judges set these things up in their own names, these foundations, you know, that's to have perpetuity of themselves. So they set up a foundation, and then these firms make these big donations either to the judge or to the foundation. And
well, they get to pick the judges.
Sure, they pick the judges, and now you have the political elites telling the unwashed masses that you're too ignorant to pick your own judges. So we're going to put together an elite committee, and we'll pick the judges, and we'll decide if they're doing a wonderful job for you, and you will not have the opportunity to throw the bums out like you did before. Now that we have open elections and the candidates, the challengers, can actually talk about the incumbent's record. Is that what you're talking about?
Right, well, yeah, but these law firms, they give major contributions to these gubernatorial candidates, the governor that makes the appointments.
Well,
so it's kind of a wink-wink under the table stuff.
You know, caller, if you would have been with us the last couple days and got to hear how these massive amounts of money are moved around between these political entities, and I'm talking...
Well, wasn't that one attorney, that Doug Kelly, wasn't he a candidate for governor at one time?
Well, he was appointed by, or we think he's got his start by David Durenberger. I think he might have been a prosecutor at one time, Doug Kelly. And it just, you know, you start to see all the names that come together. And I should have asked the person that's doing this total scrutiny, the one that put this organization together, when you hear the connections that he lays out and how crooked the judiciary is, you know, folks, this business of they don't want to have the judicial elections turn into political. Well, what you have now is one of the most corrupt systems. If you think
election by the elites,
if you think you're going to get your day in court, you know, the judge can say, no, we're not going to accept this case, and then the judge just puts down the rules. You should have seen what went on in court over there Monday. It was a total charade. That there was two judges. One was for the bankruptcy, and one was for the criminal side of it. And the bankruptcy judge, the testimony went on, and no sooner had it ended, but the judge read a 20-page decision already. How does he write a decision before he even heard the testimony? This is how corrupt it is. So, thanks, caller.
Okay.
All right. Can we play some of the stuff from Monday, are we ready with that?
Maplewood? Yeah.
Okay. Let's play this. This is Monday Maplewood, folks. And then we want some... Oh, do we have it set up? Wait a second. Before you play that, the Steeler wheels... I have to do a little direction here. Everything was backed up tonight. What?
Did you want the whole song or just the...
Well, whatever looks good. Whatever looks good.
Well, it's not set up yet. I have never seen the song yet.
Okay, we'll just play it in its entirety after when I talk about it.
Okay.
We'll do that.
We're set up for that.
And then there was what was the other piece that I had you look up for us?
Reverend Wright.
Play that after I talk about that.
Okay.
So we have some good stuff here, folks.
And I have Andrew Craig for the Petters thing.
Andrew Craig, yes, okay. We're going to play a piece from the Petters piece.
Do you want another Petters piece?
Whatever you have.
I don't have anything.
Okay, well, just that one. Okay, start out with what we have. So we have a piece that we filmed of Andrew Craig. He is a former basketball player in his early days, a journalist, worked for some of the big newspapers as a reporter, and now he's involved in trying to let people know what the judiciary is up to. So whatever they're going to show, we're going to share with you. All right, whatever we have going, control room, let's play it. And then we're going to want to show the cartoon for tonight too. But let's do this. Oh, here's the Petters thing first. We need some volume out here.
Empty rhetoric is being delivered here. What was your take on what he was meaning by that?
Well, I thought it was very offensive, frankly.
We have no sound? We have some sound. I have no sound. Folks, this is rough out here. We don't have a high price paid.
One thing the bankruptcy judge said a lot was there's empty rhetoric, or empty rhetoric is being delivered here. What was your take on what he was meaning by that?
Well, I thought it was very offensive, frankly. I particularly when you're criticizing the losing side and you're using schoolyard terms like that, I think a federal judge should be above that. And I've noticed that in some other cases. My concept of a federal judge is they rule on the law, but they really bend over backwards to give the appearance of fairness. And using that kind of term is insulting, particularly if you've clearly already decided the case in advance and have a 20-minute written decision that you must have prepared even before you heard the arguments.
So the judge was also saying in there that you get a chance to be listened to and heard, but we're just going to dismiss. Is that your feeling? We're just going to dismiss everything that was said, and we've already written our orders?
Well, again, it's one thing to have a charade, but another thing to have a transparent charade. And in this case, they just made it not laughable, but it's obvious. You see, what they're doing is preparing the record for the appeals court to make it impossible to appeal their decision by saying, well, we've considered everything, we've heard everything, and if you read that, that means, oh, you can't possibly overrule them. So, again, the transparent charade, it seems like it's a nice thing to say to the litigants, but it's really to protect the judges, and it's just not the right way to go about this. What's the harm of, even just for appearances, of taking an extra day and deciding the case that way, particularly if you're issuing a written decision? It's important for the public to have confidence in the courts, and it may seem like that's contradicting myself because in a way I'm undermining them, but I'd like to say that good government, in Minnesota good government, is not simply saying, oh, we do good government here. It's living up to that aspiration. And just this week, actually just came out earlier this week, a publication called Legal Schnauzer took this case. It's down in Alabama. It says, we thought we had horrible cases and judges and corrupt judges system in Alabama, but look at what they're doing in the Petters case up in Minnesota, and we thought that was a reasonably good government state. So ultimately, if you don't do good government, you just talk about it to do what you want to do. That's not going to work, and it shouldn't work.
Had to go in the other room because we didn't have sound out here, and I went into the control room to listen to what you were listening at home. So that was a little taste of what we recorded outside of. I was providing some of the questions. I was in the back there, but Andrew Craig, K-R-E-I-G, Executive Director, justiceintegrity.org. Justice-integrity.org. Was a reporter for several of the large newspapers, covered Washington politics, was in the mix of it out there. The stories that some of these people we were with the last couple days can tell you about how bad and dirty this country is in terms of the political, elected officials, the judiciary. Folks, if you heard this stuff, and these people, these aren't Democrats or Republicans, these are individuals that got put into this system and see how bad both of them are. You know, that's why I support people like Ron Paul. You know, it's Pat Buchanan. You know, you got to get away from these parties. These, you know, like I said, look at the state GOP running a shill or a front against me in the local election, in a primary. How bad does this stuff have to get? All right, now let's play the stuff from Monday night. We have a phone call. All right, let's take the phone call and then play Mondays. Caller, question or comment?
Bob, good show. Once again, I always enjoy your show. You really bring out some stuff you would never see on the commercial media. I know I listen to commercial media often, and they just tell me how wonderful Minnesota is, how wonderful the court system is. And now I'm hearing this corruption is rooted in the federal court system, the United States government court system. That's bad. The one thing that I had problems with, and you probably could comment on this more, having your insight and your experience, this guy from Alabama said that the Alabama system, or inferred the Alabama system was corrupt and terrible, I guess, bad government, and that he was kind of insinuating that Minnesota government was full of good government. And that hasn't been my experience. No. You know, with the Lilly brothers out there in North St. Paul, or with the Pioneer Deer Press out there in St. Paul, or the Tribune, they go after the people that are the little guys often. And big guys, the few elite whether it's the Dayton family or guys from 30, 40, 50 years ago, Mondale, they keep